we kind of went a little bit back and forth in the text, but I like to hear from
Yeah,
you if you want to share
let's
kind of
see.
what your experience was like.
It was definitely it wasn't easy, but it was definitely not as hard as I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah.
Like, I thought I was just gonna struggle and I would have to walk, like, the entire time, but I was surprised I was able to keep, like, a decent pace, like,
Uh-huh.
for myself all the way through. The things I didn't anticipate were, how much water I felt like I would need. Like, I felt like I just finished up all the water I had packed, and I was just relying on the, water stations, and I was just, like, dying of thirst. I'm just like, "Oh, I should have brought my running vest or, like, my water, vest."
Yeah.
Um,
So you were just taking like you took a handheld?
yeah, I had, like, 2 of those collapsible, like, soft bottles. I think it's, like,
Mhm.
16 ounces or 32 ounces, maybe 16. I had 2 of those, and then I had some electrolytes, and it held up pretty well. Like, I was just sipping it, but once the sun came out, I was just like it was just rough.
What was
Um,
the temp? I mean, so usually the
uh,
same, right? It's pretty much year round, like warm.
yeah, maybe, like, I don't know, 80, mid-80s,
Yeah, that's
but it
pretty
was
warm.
humid.
Sure, sure.
Um, let's see, and I felt
You,
like my gels were pretty on point. Like, I didn't feel like I felt like I was, hitting the wall going uphill. That last, like, 4 or 5 miles is just all uphill.
mm,
Um, so yeah, that was just a lot of stopping and walking and, like, starting up again. Um, yeah, once I saw the finish line, I was just, like, able to just gun it. Like, I don't know where that came from, but, like, I was able to just push through the end,
mm.
and I was just, like, completely depleted.
You
Um,
also mentioned some like calf stuff, like you were feeling a little pain.
oh yeah, I forgot about that. Let's see. It was, like, in my ankles, I think.
Hmm. Your feet and calves started hurting
Feet
when
and
you.
calves, yeah, started hurting
Yes.
right at the 10K mark. So it was, like, pretty
Oh,
early
so
on.
pretty early. Oh
Yeah.
no.
But then it kind
It
of
just
went
went
away,
away.
like, after stretching. Yeah, like, I kind of stopped to stretch and just, like, work it out a little bit.
Mm,
Just kind of, like, move my feet, and it really, really, like, seemed to help because then I was able to just start jogging and running again without any real pain. Um,
good.
I was just really glad I didn't cramp. There were so many people cramping on the course, just completely collapsed and just like,
Goodness. Oh my
yeah.
goodness. Well
Um,
darn.
there was oh, I also noticed, like, towards the end, my shoulders started hurting. So I think I have a tendency to, like, tense up and,
Mm.
like, tense my upper back. So it was, like, really sore at the end of the race.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a long ways to be running, moving your body, time on your feet. So
Yeah.
the fact that you also didn't cramp and like, you kept moving forward and that's huge, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I was
And
really proud.
your paces were pretty solid, like you said that, and especially that last you had energy there at the
Yeah.
end, finished strong. You felt like you left it all out there,
Yeah.
there at the end. And I mean, it's pretty great. It's pretty great, consistent and solid throughout that whole race. It was
Mhm.
good. It's cool to see that. But yeah, yeah, that's awesome. Um, what do you feel like? Because you said I didn't feel like it was as hard as I thought. What were you expecting?
So I always have trouble with, like, longer distances. Like the intervals and the strides and all of that is, like, I feel like I always have a lot of energy for those, but I feel like my long runs are always just so not painful, but, like, just so much harder for me. So I was just, like, kind of worried about it being such a long distance, so much time on my feet, like, if my cardio could keep up. But I kind of surprised myself, and I just had to kind of get in the zone and not, like, think too much about it. I think that helped a lot, and also taking it early or taking it easy from the start and then slowly ramping up really helped.
Yeah, that strategy, that use it as a 20-mile warm up and then 10K race.
Yeah,
I saw
yeah,
that you mentioned you like that. It's nice to stay conservative because it's such a long race. Like you have such a long ways to go, so
yeah.
much can happen in that. If you do something wrong too soon, it's just so much easier to just stay in control and stay conservative, and then
Mhm.
just build up, right? Awesome, awesome. So, what was your biggest takeaway after this marathon?
Oh, that I
What
wanted
did
to
you learn
make it a
about yourself?
that I wanted to just make it a lifelong thing, and, like, I was hooked. I was messaging people from our run club at work, even though it was, like, a Sunday, and I was just, like, messaging them and just saying, like, "Oh my gosh, I'm hooked. I already signed up for next year's one." And it was just like, yeah, and I did.
Awesome.
So it's like I never thought I'd see myself as a runner.
Really? Why
Yeah,
is that? Why did you feel like you came into running, like feel not seeing yourself as a runner?
I've never liked it since high school. Like, I think it was just because my cardio was always not good. So it's
Yeah.
like whenever, and we're always forced to run, for, like, conditioning for high school sports, and I was just like, oh, I hate doing this. Everyone's just dragging. And even when I tried running just for general fitness, I was running way too fast and, like, overstriding a lot. So, like, I would always get shin splints, which would make me hate it even more.
Mm.
So, like, yeah, it just the little things, like, going slower and taking it slow, really, really made a big difference because my idea of like training for running is just running fast for as long as possible. And I think that's what really killed me for that, like, burns me out. But
Yeah.
yeah, I had no idea that I was supposed to take it slower actually. And there's also different types of runs, and you shouldn't be pushing yourself to 100% every single run for like 5 miles.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. That's so funny. I feel like a lot of runners start off that way. I personally was also like you. I never liked running in high school, and I was a basketball player. And they would tell me to go. We would only run when we were punished. So I always saw it as
Yeah.
a punishment. Like, why would I choose to do this? And like you, I feel like running all of the paces kind of like fast. That's kind of how you have to do it.
Hmm.
So I also was like miserable, and then learning the same kind of like you, like, oh, there's different ways to run, and actually you can enjoy it. Like this is a
Yeah.
slow run, and I can run at this pace. This is
Yeah.
crazy. Um,
Yeah.
a
That's a
lot
good
of
point. Yeah.
mindset shifts, right?
Yeah. I always saw it as a punishment.
Yep.
Thanks,
Yep.
high school.
And now look at you, you're like, I can't wait to do another one. It's
Yeah,
addicting.
it is.
That's
We just
awesome.
like to punish ourselves.
For sure, for sure. That's just how it goes. Well, how do you feel like you've transformed in your running? Like what tangible results do you feel like you've improved with yourself as a runner?
I think just like my mental like capacity for running, because before I would see like, just a 3 mile run. I'd be like, oh man, that's so long. Like I can't even do that. And then I would just be like dreading it the whole time and be like, oh, I only did half a mile. I have 2.5 more miles, like just dreading it. But now it's like, oh, I only have a 3 mile run. Oh, easy. And it's like, oh, my long run's only 8 miles. Oh, that's not bad.
That's
So
not
it's
bad.
like a huge shift of just like how I see like the runs and how I break up the runs. So instead of seeing it as like a, you know, 8 mile run, I can see it as like 4 2 mile runs or however I decide to break it up, which is super helpful.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah, it does. And the whole mindset thing. I feel like I tell that to runners all the time. It's like running is more mental than it is. I mean, it's physical, of course, but like
Yeah.
if your mind is in the right place, like you can do so much more than you can actually realize. So
Yeah.
that's so cool to see that you, because for one, starting off not thinking or seeing yourself as a runner and now completing marathons and eager for more is so exciting to
Yeah.
witness and just see that growth that you've just been transformed in that way. So yeah, like what do you feel like your overall experience and like through the training, like how was it for you? Like training for this marathon, building yourself up, like what do you feel like how was the experience for you?
It was really, really good. Like coming into the training, I was kind of worried. I was like, oh man, what is this training going to look like? Is it going to be super hard? Is it going to be brutal? But it was like, enjoyable the entire time. I never had a week where I was like, oh, this is what she assigned me. It was always like, I was always looking forward to seeing what like the assignment was for that week or, looking forward to what workouts are scheduled. Um, yeah, it was a really, really nice experience and like training.
Yeah, you even managed to do some training while you were traveling and
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, that was hard.
that was, yeah. Yeah, it always is. It always is. And the cool thing is what I love about training for a marathon is that consistency, right? You were able to afford missing a few days even. You got sick even when you came home and things like
Oh
that.
yeah.
But like the thing is like it's not about one simple workout or even a few days. Like you step back because you were consistent. You were knocking workouts out. You were doing it. You were on the ball, and able to miss some days and still do well in your marathon.
Mhm.
So how do you feel like that was for you? Like was that when you
Yeah.
missed a couple days? How did you feel?
Yeah, that was another big like mental shift for me too because in my head I was like, "Oh man, I need to do every single workout otherwise, I'm not going to be at my peak performance." But even like earlier when I was telling you about my motivation, um I really just had to take a step back and just seeing how far I've come and like where I started and like you said, it's not a single workout that defines your performance. It's just everything, the culmination of all of it. And that was also at first it was hard for me to kind of realize that just because I was like, no, if I miss a workout I'm gonna get lazy, I'm gonna lose my fitness. But yeah, like I was able to do it.
Yes, yes. That's a lot of what I hear so many runners struggle with is like that perfectionist or like all or nothing, right? Like if I don't do it the way it should be or as it's written, then like I'm failing, right? And this is
Hmm.
not going to work out for me. And then my performance on race day is going to just tank because I missed this one or a couple days.
Yeah.
But that's like not the reality, which is such a cool thing to also like teach you and share because it's so true. I see this all the time. Like life is going to happen. This is something I tell everyone. It's like this is inevitable. You're going to get sick. Things are going to happen. Things are going to get in the way, and you're still going to your body's you take a step back, everything's stacked up on each other. And because you've been consistent, from this time and it's over, all that time, you're not going to crumble your training because you've laid out such a solid foundation. So for you, and just advice as you take on beyond working with me, is keep that consistency, even if it's not this high, super intense marathon training, like you're doing something, right? You're showing up, you're doing what you can take a day off here and there, when you're not feeling it. get right back into it. You just pick up where you left off. You just keep on trucking. And that way, when you are ready to build up for the marathon, your foundation is going to continue to grow, continue to get stronger, and you're just going to keep stacking it up and get higher and higher. Those PRs and everything's just going to keep building on itself. So even as you like, you're doing your half marathon here in February, whatever you have 2 months later, don't think like, oh, we have to start all over again. Like, you are building on this huge foundation that you've already established, and all it takes is just a little consistency. Just keep going, keep going. Do not just quit and stop.
Yeah, yeah.
Even if it's like, 2 or 3 days a week of running, like, our muscles have so much memory. And even if you did need to take 2 months off or something, when you get back on, it's much quicker from where you started, and how long it took you to get here. It's going to be much faster,
Hmm.
because you already have that foundation and that muscle memory and everything. So I don't think that you're going to be one to just totally stop, even
Yeah.
if you keep with like your cycling, your strength training. Like, it's all going to build. So super excited for you.
Hmm.
Super fun to work with you and see like this transformation, just how you've grown. And I just know you're going to continue to thrive. Keep that mindset that you are a runner,
Yeah.
and you are
Yeah.
going to continue to just keep building. So awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really, really amazing working with you too. Thank you for changing my mindset on running.
Yes, well, so happy to be able to do that and support you through this journey.